Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Come on in. Hit your like, tag, and share button. This Thursday, it's time for morning motivation. Come on in. Hit your like, tag, and share button. We are live this morning. It is Thursday, the day after Becoming Whole Wednesday. And I'm here to tell you, as everybody else is, they're going to tell you right now that yesterday was one of them. It was one of those nights, Monique. It was one of those days. It was one. It was one of them. Annie, Jackie, Chanel, April. Good morning. Good to see everybody in here this morning. So good to see everybody. It was one of those nights. It was one of those days. All day, when I say all day long, all day long. Patricia, good morning. Elder Duckett, good morning. Jasmine, good morning. Good to see you. So good to see everybody coming out early in the morning. Yes, grand rising to you too, Donna. Good morning. Jessica, good morning. Patricia Stewart, good morning. Tennille, good morning. Good to see everybody out this morning. It's so good to see everybody out this morning. I don't know why this ear set is kind of acting funny right now, but it's weird. I don't like that. Star, good morning. Good to see you. Kevin, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see everybody coming on this morning. It's the day after Becoming Whole Wednesday, and I'm telling you, this church has some problems. They got some issues. They don't follow directions well. We don't follow directions well. I don't. You need to understand. Yes. My. Cynthia, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for showing up yesterday, Cynthia. Kristen, thank you for showing up yesterday. My Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. My Robin Rhodes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you, Denise. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Hit your like, hit your tag button. Hit your like, hit your tag button. Tag somebody. Lachelle, good morning. We had a midday encounter. Midday is becoming something. Midday is something that's becoming undescribable. That's the word. You said you stayed on that all day. Well, we're grateful. TN, good morning. Good to see everybody. Well, listen, as mentioned, we had a great day. That was Becoming Whole Wednesday. Each week it's going to get higher and higher as we go into the season of Lent. As you go into the season of Lent, that's what God is expecting. I just don't know why this earpiece is acting like this today, but we'll figure it out. It is becoming a staple in this ministry and with morning motivation. So everybody on morning motivations, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of what God is doing. I know many persons are tired. That's why some people haven't even made it onto the line yet. Some people haven't even made it on the line yet. It will take you to that place. We went to that place. We was going to that place. Good to see everybody that's on YouTube this morning. We had a number of visitors show up. Had to apologize to them, specifically yesterday afternoon, because they didn't even get a chance to have a Bible study because people in this church don't know how to act right. They do what they want. I think I tried about 4 times, Kim, to do that Bible study. I think I tried 4 times at least to try to start that Bible study. Crystal said, tired but determined. I tried 4 times. Everybody know I tried to get that Bible study through, but it did not work. But thank God we was able to teach it on last night. Last night almost got away from us. But we was able to maintain some composure and operate like we had some home training. We was able to operate like we had some home training. Anyway, that's right, y'all. Listen, Cynthia. Felicia's birthday was yesterday. Chanel's birthday was yesterday, and Darius' grandmother, who walked in, the organist, Darius' grandmother, her birthday was yesterday. She turned 85 yesterday. Amazing. Yeah, it was definitely hijacked. Yep. In front of me. Yeah, so we had a lot of birthdays yesterday, and we celebrated them here at the church. So thank God for everyone. Everyone that's here, we thank you. Come on, we're going to go ahead into our... Then I got a special surprise yesterday. For the last, every day, it's been somebody that's been coming in new. Don't forget tonight at 7. Everybody, tonight at 7, the doors are open again. And God is going to show up again tonight. I'm telling you, he's going to show up again tonight. He's going to show up again tonight. Be here tonight at 7. One of the young women that I had mentored and I had really helped grow up, really. When we first opened the doors to this ministry, she was here. She was part of it. Then life started life, and everybody had some life going on in that season, and just felt that it was a time to step away and find and get to know what was really going on in her life. Well, she showed up yesterday. I'm like, Lord, all these people showing up yesterday. She showed up. Tammy showed up yesterday, and it was so good to see her. It's very, very, very good to see her. So glad that she was able to come in and have a great conversation. Conversation that had to be had. You got some people that you got to have a conversation with. Good God Almighty. I told you there are relationships that are God ordained, and if they come back together, or if they never really separate, but they come back together, you know that they are God ordained. Tiffany, we apologize to Tiffany, because Tiffany walked into something last night that's not normal. We apologize, Tiffany. Next week we might do better. I can't promise you, but we might do better. And so I was truly grateful. When you know a relationship that is God ordained, it never dies. It's always rekindled. It always comes back together. So grateful to see her. So grateful to see her on yesterday. All right, y'all. Yeah, no, Tiffany. Yeah, these people here, they need training though, Tiffany. They need to know how to stay calm so people can teach and we can. Anyway, all right. Everybody type in COD. Listen, everybody type in COD. COD, Costly Grace Part 3. COD, Costly Grace Part 3. Yeah. Good morning, George. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Patricia. Again, good morning. All right. So we are in this season of Costly Grace, and I pray everybody has a book. The book that we're reading out of is Dietrich Bonhoeffer's Cost of Discipleship. Cost of Discipleship. It is a great and powerful book. Keisha called, and she called me yesterday with some great news. Her prayers getting answered. Good morning, Deaconess. Her prayers getting answered. Shanice, good morning. People's prayers, they stepping out on faith, and people's prayers are being answered one by one. One by one, prayers are being answered. I'm telling you, this fasting season is not to be played with. Not to be played with. It is working. Somebody type in there, it's working. It's working. It's working. That's the Lord. It is working. So we are on page, I had to make sure I put my in here this time. We're on page 53. We're on page 50. I think we're on 53. We're on 52 or 53. Let me make sure I know. Okay, yes. Yep, okay, yeah, I know where we started. We stopped because that thing was fire. Woo! Okay, look at what he says. We're on page 53. Remember when he said this? We Lutherans have gathered, let's say we Christians, good morning, Erica, have gathered like eagles round the carcass of cheap grace. And there we have drunk off of the poison which has killed the life of following Christ. Too many of us, not all of us, just some of us, we was eating off of the carcass of cheap grace, feeling like we could do whatever we want, then show up for church on Easter and Mother's Day and New Year's, thinking that God is pleased. Eating off of the, y'all remember that season. Don't act like you don't. You remember that season, you eating off of the carcass of cheap grace, showing up when you wanted to show up, deciding to do church when you wanted, deciding to wear the label of Christian when you wanted to show up. That's eating the carcass of cheap grace. Sunday is definitely going to be that day. Sunday is bring your coworker to church day. Bring your coworker. Warn them before you come. Just warn them. Please, please warn them. Bring your coworker to work Sunday. It's Family and Friends Month. Bring your coworker to work. Ignite me, Lord. Light my fire. That's where we're going at on Sunday. Ignite me, Lord. Light my fire. I'm just telling you to warn them. Ignite me, Lord. Light my fire. I want to be on fire for you. My. Warn them, please. Ignite me, Lord. Light my fire. It is true. I'm on page 53. Still on page 53. It is true, of course, that we have paid the doctrine of pure grace, divine honors that we have unparalleled to Christendom. In fact, we have exalted that doctrine to the position of God himself. Everywhere Luther's formula has been repeated, but its truth perverted into self-deception. You're welcome, Erica. We pray for everybody that's on this line. We have perverted grace into cheap grace. So long as our church holds the correct doctrine of justification, good morning, Terry, there is no doubt whatever that she is a justified church. So they said, thinking that we must vindicate our Lutheran heritage by making this grace available on the cheapest and easiest terms. Miss Frida, good morning. We try to make it easy for people just to come into church and be in church. We want them to be a part of the church. But if we give them a church without discipleship, that's just offering cheap grace. We have perverted the grace that God gave us through his son, Jesus Christ. Look at this. To be Lutheran must mean we leave the following of Christ to legalists, Calvinists, enthusiasts, and all this for the sake of grace. He's just telling y'all, listen to you. He's just telling us what his life, what it was like to be a Christian living off of cheap grace. We justified the world and condemned the heretics, those who tried to follow Christ. The result was that a nation became Christian and Lutheran, but at the cost of true discipleship. The price it was called upon to pay was all too cheap. Cheap grace had won the day. Lord, this is so good. Celia, good morning to you. Cheap grace had won the day. But we do also realize that this cheap grace has turned back upon us like a boomerang. Whatever you throw out there, it's going to come back at you the way you threw it. So you got to be careful what you do to people, what you say to people, because the same seeds that you sowed is going to be sowed in your life by somebody else. I know it to be true. I know it to be true. That's why you don't have to fight your battles. Come on, TN. That's why you don't have to fight battles. Because God has a way of doing things better against those who came up against you than you do. The price we are having to pay today in the shape of the collapse of the organized church is only the inevitable consequence of our policy of making grace available to all at too low a cost. Maybe that's the way he got into office, because we are paying the price of living off a cheap. Okay. We didn't learn our lesson from the pandemic. So many lessons we did not learn. We just let them. We just gave it away. We just gave it away. We have to understand as he gets, this is, I'm on page 54. I'm on page 54. We gave away the word and the sacraments wholesale. God, am I talking in real time, Miss Rita? Am I talking in real time? We gave away the word and sacraments wholesale. My God. We baptized, confirmed, and absolved a whole nation unasked and without condition. God, oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. We just let anybody without any repentance, without any conversion, let's baptize you and then send you on your way. We gave away the word wholesale. Jesus, my God. Without condition, our humanitarian sentiment made us give that which was holy to the scornful and the unbelieving. My God. Because we want to be so nice. Because we want to be the humanitarian. Because we want to make sure everybody, we just gave the church away. Because you did something nice for someone, we gave you an award. We gave you an honorary degree, even though you didn't even earn it. Pastor Dante, you are teaching and preaching in here. We've been giving away this. We've been giving away the title Christian to on people. We've been giving honorary titles of Christians to people that don't even deserve it. My God. Just giving it away. Just because they come into the church and they sit during election time, we allow them to stand on the pulpit and talk to the people, giving away the word wholesale. Allow anybody to step on the pulpit and speak. Honorary. You know, people, I'm going to be honest with you. You got to be on. When you earn a degree, listen to me right now. When you go through school and you've gone through classes and you wrote your papers and you paid all the tuition that you had to pay and you paid your child's tuition and you had to make sure they had food to eat and they earned that degree. You got an earned degree. And then you see somebody walk on a stage and get an honorary degree that they didn't earn. Okay. I have a problem with that. I'm sorry. Y'all can say what y'all like. I got a problem with that. I'm sorry. You didn't earn it. They gave it to you. And now you are able to call yourself a doctor because somebody gave you a degree. You didn't earn it. You didn't pay no tuition. Lord have mercy. We poured forth unending streams of grace. God, this is so good. We just gave it away, Miss Frida. Gave it away. Just giving things away. We have poured forth unending streams of grace. But the call to follow Jesus in a narrow way was hardly ever heard. Well, Margot, my thinking is a little bit long in yours because I do agree that people have earned, they did a lot of community service, but when you're talking about a degree in which you are called something that you haven't earned, community service, they have ambassadors, they got different titles for those names for people that do that. But to earn an honorary doctorate degree, when you're talking about people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to earn those degrees, it's a little different for me. So we might have a little difference of opinion, but I can understand where you're coming from. Somebody said they still paying for their child's college tuition. I'm still paying on my student loans. Them degrees is no joke. Yeah. Them degrees is no joke. I know parents that paid, and I know some people that have been working really hard, couldn't afford to go to school. I definitely get it. You're welcome, Margot, one of my high school friends. You said I want someone to give me. Now, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna flip the script, right? Because you know who gave me my honorary degree? Gave us our degrees. But we didn't walk across the stage. We ain't walk across the stage. But she was there to give us our honorary degree. Oprah was the one that gave us our degree because she received her honorary degree from Howard that year. I get it. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I get it. But let me tell you, it is, for me, it's still giving something away. It's still giving something away. That's the word. It's still giving something away. Yes, Holden said, I see your point too, man. You're welcome. Thank you, Margot. This is amazing. Hold on, y'all. My daughter's calling me. Just a second. All right, listen. She said Jaden just did 4 years, 100. I'm sorry, y'all. It's my daughter. You know I gotta take my daughter's call. 100. These degrees ain't cheap. These degrees are not cheap. And now when they get ready to cut the Department of Education and Pell Grants, folk aren't even gonna be able to afford to go to school. Yes, we love you too, Margot. Thank you so much for being a friend, staying a friend, supporting our ministry. You got to have friends that support you for the long haul. And we talking about the long haul. When you're talking about 7th grade through now, that's over. We graduated almost 40 years ago. So that means when you add the years that we was in, that's almost 45 years. Lord have mercy. I mean, that's almost 40 something, 43. My God, that's a long time, Margot. Let me go back to this book. Okay. Where were those truths which impelled the early church to institute the catechumens, which enabled a strict watch to be kept over the frontier between the church and the world? My God, the gatekeepers. The one that said, I'm not going to allow, Lord, help me in here, Jesus. I'm not going to allow just anything to happen or to stay in the church. Listen to me. Andy Brown and y'all have been friends for 50 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. That's a long time. That's a long time. We have to have things in place. And you know we have in place? Discipleship. Discipleship is the gate. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Discipleship is that time, is that place, is that instrument that will help us to remain pure, to keep things in order, because we have to understand we can't just allow anything to stay and happen within the ministry. Gatekeepers, persons that you assign that know how to talk to people when things ain't going the way they should. I'm not talking about the police. I'm not talking about prison wardens. I'm not talking about you pulling somebody up in the middle of a service. No, I'm talking about you being able to pull somebody to the side, having a great conversation and challenging them to be holy. Somebody say, we got to do better. Good morning, Tony McNeil. Somebody type in it, we got to do better. See, one of the things that's a struggle, and the reason why some people won't come back into church, is because someone corrected them out of order. I'm talking to somebody, and some of y'all on this line right now, and that's the reason why you ain't even coming. You ever do church online? Because somebody corrected you out of order. Thank you, God. Let me share this story that I had. That's right. Hold each other accountable in love like Christ did. Now, let me talk to the people that are internet members through the internet, even through this ministry. Let me share this. Had a conversation. Person had been given into a ministry for a while, just given into a ministry because they knew they had to be given because they weren't in a church. Given. Fell into some hard times and figured out, I can't even call this church to get help. Nye, good morning. I'm given into a church that I can't even call to get help. The church that you are in or that you're participating in Do you have the opportunity to get help when you need it? Lord have mercy. Michelle Smith, good morning. You giving into ministries? Great, powerful. But are you able to make that call when you need it for them to show up? It's nothing against the mega ministries. I thank God for them, but I'm here to tell you, when you need some help, the greatest asset you can have is a church you've been seeding into. Okay, here we go. What has happened to all those warnings of Luther against preaching the gospel in such a manner to make men rest secure in their ungodly living? God, this is preach. This is good. We can't preach sermons that make you feel comfortable. Rick Tyler, we got to preach sermons that will make you squirm in your seat, to make you go through some convictions, that have you want to run to the altar and cry out in repentance. We can't preach no comfortable sermons to make you feel okay, like everything is okay in your life and you ain't got to make no changes in your life. After yesterday's message, Michelle Smith, after yesterday's message, Margot, I told myself I had to do better. I had to make some changes in my life. I had to make some adjustments in my life. Oh, Dante, there's been some things I've been avoiding. There's been some things I've been avoiding that I had to say I had to get together. It's time to get this in order. I'm on a church where the pastor knows your name. So, Patricia, what happened with me? Let me tell y'all what me. I know when it's serious for me, because when I start writing it down and I start putting a checklist together, that means it's going to get done. When I say it, it doesn't really get done until I start writing it. Once I start writing it and I put it in a checklist, it's over. It's going to get done. So I know this time it's going to get done because I wrote this thing down yesterday. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Let's go. Was there ever a more terrible or disastrous instance of Christianization of the world than this? What are those 3,000 Saxons put to death by Charlemagne compared with the million of spiritual corpses in our country today? Jesus. My. Andrea, good morning. My. Miss Merritt, good morning. Look at what it said, y'all. Page 54. What are those 3,000 Saxons put to death by Charlemagne compared with the millions of spiritual corpses in our country today? We have spiritual corpses walking around now. Dead spiritual people walking. Good morning, Tyra. Corpses, alive but dead. That's what I'm just reading. Y'all don't get mad. I'm just reading what Bonhoeffer is declaring. And we are allowing it to even populate the church. Oh, man. My God. My. Many of us remember that season when we was a spiritual corpse. Knew the word, but wasn't living it. Spiritual corpse. Praying, but not believing. Spiritual corpse. You're doing all these spiritual things, but your life doesn't even resemble what you believe. Spiritual corpse. Tara said, I felt like that before. Here we go. With us, it has been abundantly proved that the sins of the father are visited upon the children unto their third and fourth. Can we ask that question? Keisha, can we ask that question? Can we ask that question? Can we put that question? Can we put that question on the table? Are we living out the sins of our forefathers? Have they come back upon us? Because you have to know the word, what the word says. It's literally said it with us, it is abundantly proved that the sins of the fathers are visited upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Woo! My grandfather, both of my grandfathers, drunkards. Father, drunkard, running women. I can only imagine what their fathers was, what their fathers were. We didn't have no pastors and preachers in our family. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up like that. Generational. I'm just reading the book, y'all. I'm not saying this. I'm just reading the book. If we did not, listen to me, if we did not break those curses, we would still be living off of this. I'm here to tell you, I know what my life was set up to be. I'm sorry, I love my dad. I'm grateful, but I gotta call it what it was. I love him. I know he tried to do the best he could, but the life he lived, if I lived the life that he lived, we wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be having this conversation that you're having right now. Stephanie said, my dad saw his pastor in the bar with him, so my dad did not take us to church. I broke that curse off of my life. And believe me, that curse was trying to, listen, that curse was doing its best to take me down that road. It was doing its best to get its grips on the inside of me, to have me doing things I had no business doing. Cheap grace has turned out to be the utterly merciless to our evangelical church. This cheap grace has been no less disastrous to our own spiritual lives. Instead of opening up the way to Christ, it has closed it. This book is so fire, man. I got this whole page just about underlined. Instead of opening up the way to Christ, it has closed it. Instead of calling us to follow Christ, it has hardened us in our disobedience. Cheap grace is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Keep us from following Christ. Perhaps we had once heard the gracious call to follow him, And had this command even taken the first few steps along the path of discipleship and the discipline of obedience, only to find ourselves confronted by the word of cheap grace. Was that not merciless and hard? The only effect that such a word could have on us was to bar our way to progress and seduce us to the mediocrity level of the world. We have been seduced to live the mediocrity life of the world. Cheap grace has literally seduced us to live like the world. You're going to choose to do something different. You have to. You got to make a choice. Cheap grace has seduced us to the mediocrity level of the world, quenching the joy of discipleship by telling us that we were following a way of our own choosing. Seduced into mediocrity. Woo! My God. Can you really say right now that you're living on the level? Have you leveled up? Are you really telling me right now that you leveled up to live the life of Christ? To live the life that Christ has in store for you? Are you telling me? Everybody on here, do we know we got to level up to not get seduced, to live this mediocre life that the world has said we deserve, that the world has kept to us because somebody is in office? Now I can't do this. Now I can't do that. We are being seduced to be mediocre. We got to level up. We got to level up. Andrea said, I can't afford to be mediocre. I can't. I can't afford it. I can't. We can't afford to live that kind of life because he paid too much for us. When you really understand how much he paid for you, you won't allow yourself to be mediocre. I'm not just somebody. I'm not just no anybody. I'm not just somebody you can walk over or walk on. I'm not just somebody that's just going to punch a clock every day. And then, God, I've been called to do more than this. God, I need you to ignite me, light my fire. You deserve more. Listen to me. God, he is telling you he deserves more out of you. God says he deserves more out of you. When are you going to give him a return on his investment? My. Somebody said, I hear you, Lord. I hear you. No, you know. The sad thing is, you know your potential. You know what you are capable of doing. You know the gift that's on the inside of you. You already know it. But you literally allowed cheap grace to let you settle for a life of mediocrity. Level up. When you look at yourself, you got to literally listen. When you look at yourself, you need to challenge yourself. You need to ask yourself, why are you settling? What are you afraid of? Why are you allowing fear to grip? You need to tell. I can preach to you all day, but until you start preaching to yourself, until you start encouraging yourself, until you start holding yourself accountable. It says, quenching the joy of discipleship by telling us that we were following a way of our own choosing, that we were spending our strength and disciplining ourselves in vain, all of which was not merely useless but extremely dangerous. Step your game up, Andrea. Step it up. You challenging yourself. Make a list of what you got to do. I dare you to put 5 things on that list. I need you to put a list of 5 things you need to get done in 30 days. You got 30 days to get it done. You need to write a list. Everybody on this, I already wrote my list yesterday. You need to write a list of 5 things you need to get done in 30 days. Hold yourself accountable. Write it down. You got 5. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done and this done because this is my season to level up. And I'm telling you, I ain't coming here to please nobody. And if it starts today, it's the 20th. April 20th. You know what day April 20th is? Easter. April 20th is Easter. 30 days from today, we'll be celebrating Resurrection Sunday. Your list should be complete. You got it. I need just 5 things. Don't overwhelm yourself because you won't complete it. Just 5 things you need to do in the next 30 days. That's right. I like that. The level up list. Everybody type in there. The level up list. My God, the level up list. That's why you can't miss morning motivation when you're assigned to it. You can't miss it. Because all kinds of things gonna start popping off. People gonna be y'all gonna be so excited when my 5 things is finished. Oh, oh, I'm gonna be in a whole new place. The level up list. I got 5 things I need to get done. The smoking flax was merciless, extinguished. It was unkind to speak to men like this, for such a cheap offer could only leave them bewildered and tempt them from the way to which they had been called by Christ. That's right, Patricia Stewart on YouTube. The level up list. God, y'all done got me excited on this call today. It's gonna be some major things happening on this call. There's gonna be some testimonies coming on this call. You dragging your feet on stuff, it's time to level up. And if you need help, get help. Stop being so proud to ask somebody for help. Good morning, Janelle. I hope you heard it. You got to put together a level up list where you got to write down 5 things you need to get done within the next 30 days. 5 things you need to get done, things you've been dragging your feet on that God has been telling you to get done. You need to have done in the next 30 days. Level up. Okay, here we go. Having laid hold, I'm on page 55, everybody. Having laid hold on cheap grace, they were barred from the knowledge of costly grace. Rodney said, there is no if in needing help. You need help. You ain't never lied. Deceived and weakened, men felt that they were strong now that they were in possession of this cheap grace, whereas they had in fact lost the power to live the life of discipleship and obedience. The word of cheap grace has been the ruin of more Christians than any commandment of works. Shawnee said, lead me and direct me, Lord. Lead me and direct me, Lord. Ignite me, Lord. Light my fire. That's what we preaching on Sunday. Ignite me, Lord. Ignite me, Lord. Ignite me, Lord. The word of cheap grace has been the ruin of more Christians than any commandment of works. In our subsequent chapters, we shall try to find a message from those. In our subsequent chapter, we shall try to find a message for those who are troubled by this problem. You're welcome, Miss Merritt. Ignite me, Lord. Get into church. Don't you walk to church. You run in this church building on Sunday, because God is going to ignite you. You ain't going to leave out of here the same on Sunday. Your whole life is going to be on fire. Everything, like Elijah, is going to be on fire. The message must be spoken for the sake of truth. For those among us who confess that through cheap grace, they have lost the following of Christ, and further, with the following of Christ, have lost the understanding of costly grace. To put it quite simply, we must undertake this task because we are now ready to admit that we no longer stand in the path of true discipleship. We confess that although our church is orthodox as far as her doctrine of grace is concerned, we are no longer sure that we are members of the church which follows its Lord. My God. Make sure that you are a part of a church that's following God. And I'm telling you, just because they open up on Sunday, help me, Lord, does not mean that they're following the Spirit. Ignite me, Lord. Oh my, I feel God. I feel God. Ignite me, Lord. Ignite me, Lord. We must therefore attempt to recover true understanding of the mutual relationship between grace and discipleship. The issue can no longer be evaded, Tennille. It has become clear every day that the most urgent problem besetting our church is this: how can we live the Christian life in the modern world? Ignite me, Lord. Ignite me, Lord. Ignite me. How can we live the Christian life in the modern world? Let me make sure I do this, because I did send out. Let me make sure I do this. I did send out the new Bible plan. So let me make sure everyone gets a copy of this plan. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. I did send out the new Bible plan to everyone, but let me put it in the chat right now. I just put it in the chat. That's the new Bible plan. Distraction, the enemy of direction. Ha! It's right there. Click the link. Start reading with us today. Distraction, the enemy of direction. Love it. Distraction, the enemy of direction. Happy are they who have reached the end of the road we seek to tread, who are astonished to discover that by no means self-evident truth that grace is costly just because it is the grace of God in Jesus Christ. Oh, I need to put it in the let me put it on the YouTube chat too. I'm sorry, because I know there are people in YouTube. I apologize, y'all. Let me put it on the YouTube chat. Here we go. All right, we put it in the YouTube chat as well. I hope y'all seeing it. If y'all on YouTube, make sure that y'all are able to see it, please. Make sure y'all able to see it. If everybody that's on YouTube, Melissa, Tennille, Patricia, did you see the chat? Did you see the link I just put on the chat? Make sure that y'all can see it. I started it today, but it starts tomorrow. Yes, it starts tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. Happy are the simple followers of Jesus Christ who have been overcome by his grace and are able to sing the praises of an all-sufficient grace of Christ with humbleness of heart. So you still didn't see it? It's right there too. I think it's something wrong with my chat. Okay, so I think it's something wrong with my chat. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, it's not coming up on my chat here in YouTube. Can't see it. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna have to make sure I get it in there some way. You know what? Let me see if this Melissa, since I know that you guys, so I'm gonna send it to you in Messenger right now. I'm gonna text it to you right now. So okay, text it to you, and then Melissa, you put it in the chat. Just post it in the chat because I don't know why it's not working on my end. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, so distractions can delay your distance. Happy are they who, knowing that grace can live in the world without being of it, who, by following Jesus Christ, are so assured of their heavenly citizenship that they are truly free to live their lives in this world. Happy are they who know that discipleship simply means the life which springs from grace, and that grace simply means discipleship. Somebody type that in there. Grace means discipleship. First step of distractions: remove yourself, block, and delete. That's the first rule. Grace, everybody type that in there. Grace simply means discipleship. Happy are they who have become Christians in this sense of the word. For them, the word of grace has proved a fount of mercy. A fount of mercy. A fount of mercy. Grace means discipleship. Good. All right, y'all. That was grace. That was costly grace. That was the book. That was the chapter on costly grace. We are moving right along. I hope y'all got y'all's book. We get ready to go into this chapter right here is going to put you in the ICU. I'm just going to let you know that right now. This chapter called The Call to Discipleship, we're going to be on it in it for a while, probably for a whole week or week and a half. This chapter right here, The Call to Discipleship, is going to put you in a chokehold. You will be in the ICU for a while. Tamika, you're going to be in the ICU for a while. You're going to be in the ICU for a while. Critical. Because it's going to feel like you're about to bleed out. Because this thing going to cut you. It comes right at you. Okay, let's go. Chapter 2. Everybody type in there, the call of discipleship, part 1. back. Everybody type in the call to discipleship. Part 1. And as he passed by, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the place of toll. And he said unto him, follow me. And he arose and followed him. The call to discipleship. The call goes forth and is at once followed by the response of obedience. Shayna, I need everybody to understand when the call goes out, your only response is obedience. It's not debate. It's not to pray. It's to obey. When the call goes out from God to you, your only response is obedience. That's it. He's not asking you to find anything. He's not asking you to fix anything. He's not asking you to pray about anything. He's calling you to obey. Every disciple that received the call from Christ did not pray, they walked. Okay, here we go. The call goes forth and is at once followed by the response of obedience. The response of the disciples is an act of obedience, not a confession of faith in Jesus. How could the call immediately evoke obedience? The story is a stumbling block for the natural reason, and it is no wonder that frantic attempts have been made to separate the two events. By hook or crook, a bridge must be found between them. Something must have happened in between, some psychological or historical event. They're trying to figure out how in the world did Jesus call these men and they just drop everything? What happened? Something must have happened. It could not have been just his voice telling him to follow and they drop everything. Thus we get the stupid question. Now this is in the book, y'all. I didn't say the word stupid on purpose. It's in the book, page 57, y'all. Surely the publican must have known Jesus before, and that previous acquaintance explains his readiness to hear the master's call. Unfortunately, our text is ruthlessly silent on this point. And in fact, it regards the immediate sequence of call and response as a matter of crucial importance. It displays not the slightest interest in the psychological reasons for man's religious decisions. And why? For the simple reason that the cause behind the immediate following of call by response is Jesus Christ himself. The only reason they responded so quickly is because of Jesus Christ himself. It is Jesus who calls, and because it is Jesus, Levi follows at once. You ain't got to make nothing up. It's Jesus that made them drop everything and follow him. This encounter is a testimony to the absolute, direct, unaccountable authority of Jesus. There is no need of any preliminaries and no other consequence but obedience to the call. Because Jesus is the Christ, he has the authority to call and to demand obedience to his word. Because Jesus made the call to you, he has the right to demand anything he wants from you. You're the one that's putting things off limits. You're the one that has this area of your life that you won't allow him in. Jesus summons men to follow him not as a teacher or a pattern of good life, but as the Christ, the Son of God. In this short text, Jesus Christ and his claims are proclaimed to men. Not a word of praise is given to the disciple for his decision for Christ. Lord have mercy. You know what? We want everybody to celebrate us for something we did. Oh, you followed. You answered the call. I'm talking to all my deacons in training, my ministers in training. I'm talking to all of y'all. Don't expect no celebrations. Now, people going to probably celebrate you, but don't expect it. Don't want it. Don't get upset because somebody may not call your name when you're when you get to the point where you get licensed or ordained. This ain't no time for you to be celebrated. It's time for you to go to work. The book says to kneel. Look what it says to kneel. I want you to look what it says because I see you reading. Not a word of praise, Tyra, is given to the disciple for his decision for Christ. All he wants you to do is follow. We are not expected to contemplate the disciple, but only him who calls in his absolute authority. According to our text, there is no road to faith or discipleship, no other road, only obedience to the call of Jesus. So just in case you don't know who Levi is, that's Matthew. Thank you for giving us that, Kim. The only road to faith or discipleship is obedience to the call of Jesus. The moment, can I help y'all understand this? The moment you need to be appreciated by certain people, and I'm telling y'all this because it is that you're talking about a distraction. The need for appreciation is a distraction. I get it comes upon me every so often. Well, they ain't say this, or they didn't do this, or that. Why are they not appreciating? The moment you feel that you need it, it's a distraction. And it's trying to remove you from walking as a disciple. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to shield you from the need of being appreciated. Y'all, this is going against everything. This is going against everything because everybody says it. I know it. You need to feel appreciated. You need to appreciate what people are doing. Yes, I get it. We do. You don't want to take, but you shouldn't need it. I'm talking about needing it. If you need to feel appreciated, that means you need the praise of men. And that is your problem on why you are not moving in the direction you're supposed to be moving in, because you have not received the appreciation you think you deserve. I'm preaching in here. Yes, you should appreciate. Yes, you should thank people for what they've done and how they've been blessing you in your life. But you shouldn't need it to do the work. Wake up and follow him. That's your calling. Type it in there, y'all. Wake up and follow him. That's your calling. That's the calling of a disciple. And if you want to be a Christian, go ahead and need the praise of men. Go ahead and need your name to be called. Go ahead and operate in that false humility. I just want to be in the background. I don't need nobody calling my name. The moment you hear that, that means they need it. I'm preaching. Wake up and follow him. If you have not, somebody, I'm going to put this in the chat. If you have not signed up for discipleship, I am putting in the chat right now the link you need to use to sign up for discipleship. The orientation is Tuesday, the 25th. I guess it didn't go on. Jesus, I thought I put it on there. All right. Did it go in there? Yep, there it is. Click that link. Sign up today. Because the only way you're going to get rid of all that needy, you being so needy, the only way you're going to be, you need to be in discipleship. Because you're too needy. You're destroying your relationship because you're too needy. Now, when you look back over your life and the divorce you went through, it's because you're needy. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because I know that fits somebody. That fits somebody. You just was too needy. Okay, let's keep reading. I'm on page 58. And what does the text inform us from the content of discipleship? Follow me. Run along behind me. That is all. To follow in his steps is something which is void of all content. To follow in his steps is something which is void of all content. It gives us no intellectual program for a way of life, no goal or ideal to strive after. It is not a cause which human calculation might deem worthy of our devotional, even the devotion of ourselves. What happens at the call? Levi leaves all that he has, but not because he thinks that he might be doing something worthwhile, but simply for the sake of the call. Lord have mercy. He didn't leave everything because he thought he was going to get something else. He didn't leave it because he saw something that was going to help him achieve. No, he followed because of the call. I hate reading this book because every time I start reading it, time go by so fast. Otherwise, he cannot follow in the steps of Jesus. This act on Levi's part has not the slightest value in itself. It is quite devoid of significance and unworthy of consideration. God, this is good. Man, this is good. Woo! What he's saying is, just because you started following him, don't expect this to be something that everybody's going to celebrate. It's just you doing what you are called to do. There's nothing significant about it. The disciple simply burns his boats and goes ahead. Now, to everybody else, why are you doing it? What are you doing leaving your job? What are you doing retiring early? Why are you working at that church doing all this stuff and you're not getting paid? What? I don't understand. What are you doing? Because of the call. Y'all, just want to let y'all know, Margarita is Naomi. That's Naomi in Kenya. Is one of the other children that God has had me leading. She's the praise and worship leader for the Commonwealth Church. Can y'all just say good morning to Naomi? Just say good morning, Naomi. It's because of the call. It's because of the call. That's all. The call told me to do this. The call told me to preach. The call told me to wake up every morning and get on this live at 7:30. It's the call. It's the call that told me to open up the church at 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. It's the call. It's the call that told me to start a discipleship class and open it up for everybody. It's the call. It's the call that has us in here 7 days a week. And if it's too much for you, please, I understand you got a lot of things going on. Don't wear yourself out. It's the call. The necessity has been laid upon me. I can't do anything else. I don't know anything else to do. I can't do anything else. I'm not going to do anything else. The call. It's the call. I told him last night. This is what I told him last night. I said the fall, your last fall, ignited your call. Ignited the calling in your life. It's the call. It's a okay, keep going, Pastor, because it'll take too much. He is called out and has to forsake his old life in order that he may exist in the strictest sense of the word. My. Listen what it says. He is called out. Julian, you're called out. Miss Frieda, you're called out. Yvonne, you're called out. Patricia, you're called out. And you have to forsake your old life in order that you may exist in the strictest sense of the word. In order to answer this call and live up to the call, you have to forsake your old life and live to the strictest sense of the word. Woo! My God. My. That's the only way, Andrea, that's the only way you can live up to the call. You have to forsake your old life and live to the strictest sense of the word. That's the only way, Andy Brown, you can live up to this call. Naomi is also a teacher at the school at Kids of Promise. I forgot to mention that. I think she teaches. What grade you teach, Naomi? I think she teaches first grade. Jesus. The strictest sense of the call. Sense of the word. I'm sorry. The old life is left behind and completely surrendered. The old life is left behind and completely surrendered. The disciple is dragged out of his relative security into a life of absolute insecurity. That's why most people don't want to live it. That's why most people don't want to live it. Because it's going to require you to live a life of insecurity. You're not insecure. You're living a life of insecurity. Means you don't know where God going to take you. You don't know where God going to send you. You don't know what country or city or place God. You don't know what church God's going to send you to. You don't know what God going to ask you to do. So what you do is you tiptoe and you just stay on the fringes of costly grace, because if you know you go all the way to, if you really surrender to costly grace, God can have you in Antarctica, Greenland somewhere, Finland somewhere preaching. That is from a life which is observable and calculable into a life where everything is unobservable and fortuitous, out of the realm of the finite into the realm of infinite possibilities. Whoa. Woo! You are, if this, let me help y'all. Let me help y'all with this. I am living in the life of infinite possibilities. Anything can happen. I'm open for everything happening. God can literally open up any door, because we are now living in the realm of infinite possibilities. Anybody could walk through that door today. Anything can happen today. Infinite possibilities. It's a very uncomfortable season when you don't really know what God is going to do, but you learn to embrace the uncomfortability, the uncomfortable life. The moment you get comfortable, you're not in that realm anymore. You living off of your own life. Infinite possibilities. Just answering the call. Come on, here we go. Let's keep going, y'all. Again, it is no universal law. Rather, it is the exact opposite of all legality. It is nothing else than bondage to Jesus Christ alone. I'm bound to Christ. Jesus Christ alone. It is nothing else else than bondage to Jesus Christ alone, completely breaking through every program, every ideal, every set of laws. No other significance is possible, since Jesus is the only significance. Besides Jesus, nothing has any significance. He alone matters. I'm bound to Jesus. I'm in bondage to Jesus Christ. I'm bound to him. Mm, mm. I'm just going to let y'all know it's going to be a lot of things, a lot of people that's not going to appreciate this new life that you're living, because when you bound to him, you're not bound to them. When you are bound to him, you are not going to be bound to them. And that's going to cause some problems. That's going to cause some problems. That might cause some problems at home. That might cause some problems at work. You are bound to him. Lord have mercy. I'm bound to him, not to them. Yeah, that's freedom. It's freedom, Terry. But I'm telling you, a lot of people ain't going to let you be free. Shawnice, I'm telling you, a lot of people ain't going to let you be free. They're going to hold you. They're going to put guilt trips on you. They're going to have you feeling like they the center of your universe. You bound to him, not them. You know when when the man said, I need to go bury my, he said, let the dead. But you're supposed to do this. That's so insensitive. Jesus, I don't have to. I'm bound to him, not to them. Infinite possibilities. All right, y'all. We are on we're going to pick up tomorrow, page 59. Page 59. I'm telling y'all, the people are selfish in nature. So when they need you, they're going to require all of you, and you're going to have to make a decision. Are you bound to him or are you bound to them? It's real. Listen, tomorrow, like I said, we'll pick up on page 59. Kim said that's what broke up, because I'm bound to him. I ain't got time. Yeah, whenever when I start reading this book like this, time seems like it goes by so swiftly. This call to discipleship chapter is going to be the game changer for somebody's life. Don't forget your level up list. Everybody, do not forget your level up list. You got 5 things you need to write down that you need to finish in 30 days. 30 days to finish 5 things is your level up list. It's your level up list. 30 days to finish 5 things by Easter, by Resurrection Sunday. You have to finish these 5 things. You have to finish those 5 things. Write them down. As soon as you get off this live, write them down if you haven't already wrote them down, and start working on it. All right, y'all, listen. Everybody have a great day today. Michelle, Miss Jackie, Patricia, Yvonne, Miss Frida, Kevin, Monique, Fatina, Rick, everybody that I may miss, Annie Brown, Lachelle, Chanel, everybody have a great day. If I missed you, I apologize. But just look, have a great day. We're going to have a great day in the Lord here. Don't forget, tonight at 7, the doors are open. Tonight at 7, get here as quickly as you can. And then tomorrow is Churchy Friday. We're going to have a great time tomorrow. Renee, have a great day. Tyra, have a great day. Nye, have a great day. Miss Annie, have a great day. Have a great day in the Lord, y'all. God bless. See y'all tomorrow.